You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, if you're a sporting fan, just interested in sport in general, but particular boxing, this man, when I say we'll need no introduction, but of course we're going to introduce him, but sitting alongside him is his manager, Darren Thompson. You mightn't know him as a household name, although I know a little about him. Darren had 137 amateur fights and only lost 2 of them, which makes us wonder why we haven't seen you on the top of the world rankings of any professional sport. But it's thank you for bringing Lester in. Just before I introduce Lester, Darren.
You're welcome, Sam.
Yeah, righto. Very good. Now, Lester, did I say we're here with the great Lester Ellis?
Yes, we are.
Did I say that? I
You
didn't say
did.
that. I just
You
said
can say
unless
it,
you're
yeah.
interested in sport, you would be interested. The great Lester Ellis. Now, Lester, we are primarily speaking to you today because this year is the 40th anniversary of one of the most iconic, memorable fights, not only in Australian boxing history. I watched it. Against Barry Michaels. Let's get his name right, with an S.
Yes.
Barry Michaels. Sorry, Barry, I know Barry pretty well, and can't pronounce his name correctly. Barry Michaels.
You got it right.
One of the great contests. And how ironic, Lester, welcome incidentally, is it that it is also the 40th anniversary of probably one of the greatest fights, Marvellous Marvin Hagler against Tommy Hitman Hearns. That's 40 years ago this year as well. I remember watching that fight.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're in great company, 40 years. So first of all, Lester, how are you?
Well, mate.
Are you all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate.
You've had some assessment over your mental acuity over the years. Is that from boxing or from just a general fading of your mental acuity, or how are you at the minute? Sharp and mentally acute?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very good. Going back a few years now, I had a bit of a drinking problem and got it out of hand. And
Yep.
I broke up with my wife for about a year, and then we sorted things out. And she came back, and life's been fantastic ever since. And we had another baby, and great.
Fantastic. Now, we'll just get this out of the way because this is not what you're in here for. But the drinking caused you to have a bit of a ruckus with the establishment, the coppers, and you just went rat-a-tat-tat, or you pushed a couple of them away, and you had to do maybe overnight in incarcerated, yep. And then they took you down to a mental facility in Fairfield. Yep, Fairfield. And they assessed you there, and your brother Keith came to your aid, and also the great late Les Twentyman got into the ring with you, if you like, and backed you up. So you've recovered from that, and full credit to you. You're out and about and going okay.
Yeah, great, mate.
Yeah. And I noticed you've got 4 sons. One of them's Lester Jr., the other is Jake, and the others are Darcy and
Dempsey.
Darcy and Dempsey. That's correct. Now I couldn't help noticing, Lester, that Darcy and Dempsey are famous fighters. And then I said, "Well, who's Jake? Is that Jake LaMotta?" LaMotta.
Yeah.
And you said it is. I said, well, I've snared that beautifully.
You snagged that.
I snared that, and you've named your first son after another great boxer. That's his father. That's Lester.
Absolutely.
So there we are.
We have 2
Lesters.
Lesters.
It's fantastic. So what are we doing? There's something in the wind about the 40th anniversary of one of the iconic fights in boxing history, you and Barry. What are we doing about that? Are they going to make a film or a doco on it, or are they?
Barry Michaels and I ran into a bloke, and he was very keen to...
Come in a bit closer, mate. We want to hear what you're talking about. Yep.
Barry Michaels and I ran into a bloke, and he wanted to...
It could be him on the phone now, mate.
Could be.
Yeah, it could be your agent ringing. That's all right. So you ran into Barry, and you ran into a bloke who wanted to make a film about it.
wanted to make a film. He said it was a fantastic story, and he looks like doing it this year.
Does he?
Yeah.
And here's the obvious question, Lester. Who is going to play you? And if you don't know that, who would you like to play you as the great Lester Ellis?
My son, Lester Jr., has done 4 movies. He's been very successful. And I would like him to play me.
And that would seem logical, wouldn't it?
Well, he's had fights. He can box a bit. He knows all about me. He talks like me. He walks like me. So yeah.
Well, that would seem. As I looked up your son. The only thing I could see, this is from the Google machine. He's Jamie, the private schoolgirl. He was acted in that, did
That's
he?
it. Yeah, he did.
What did he do there, mate? What was it? That sounds an interesting title.
Chasing the girls.
Chasing the girls, yeah.
Chasing the girls and doing a bit of sport. Yeah, a bit of variety.
Okay, and he's a reasonable boxer, you say?
Yeah, good boxer.
Did you say he didn't have the killer instinct, not like you?
He didn't have the killer instinct, but he's got the ability.
Very talented.
Talented, he's fast, he's smart, he's clever. He can punch a bit. Yeah, he's okay.
And Darren, we've got Lester Junior pegged. Who's going to play Barry, do you reckon?
Well, that's a very good question, and I think we still need to look. But who would I pick to pick Barry? Sam, I don't know.
No.
He's an unusual man, old Barry.
Is he? Yeah.
Yes, he likes having a chat.
Yes. Well, I know Barry reasonably well, but I don't know who would play him. I have no idea. But that's a very good question. That's up to the talent scout to go around and search for someone.
It is. But it's good to see that Lester Junior is going to play the part of Lester Senior. That's a very good person.
And seems absolutely logical, doesn't it?
Yes, it certainly does.
And what do we? Have you got any idea what the film's about? You both being growing up and living your separate lives until you were brought together in the ring, or are you a friend of Barry Michaels?
Yeah, I'm a friend of Barry's. He used to teach me when I was 12 years old.
Did he?
Yeah, and it was pretty ironic what happened. Years later, eight or 9 years later, we fought for my world title. Yeah.
And it was, I keep saying it was a memorable, everyone would remember it, who was interested in sport, particularly boxing. During the lead up to the fight, can you remember, was there any sledging, or did we talk each other down, or were we respectful, or did you play the game and do what the promoters wanted and say, he's nothing and I can take him with my arm tied behind my back, or what? How did that evolve?
Mate, we attacked each other. We didn't like each other. And even the promoters, the painter and dockers and the gangsters, they hated each other, and they finally got together and worked out a deal and worked out the money. And what happened there was, if I was to lose the fight, there was supposed to be a rematch in 60 days. 60
days?
Yeah.
Take you 6 years to recover from the slug out, the slugfest.
15 rounds of hell.
Yep.
And that never eventuated. Barry ended up going to England, and he lost the world title to a guy named Rocky Lockridge. He lost in the 3rd or 4th round. He got bad eardrum problems, and he retired in the corner. So I never got a chance again. And then I went on, and I ended up winning 4 more world titles over a period of a few years. And I won it back to front, because normally you win the Australian and the Commonwealth. I won the world first, and I went backwards and won the Commonwealth. I won 2 Commonwealth, 2 Australian, and 5 world in 5 different weight divisions.
Can you assure us, Lester, that it's a bit like Usain Bolt? If they ever find out he was on drugs and they take all his medals from me, that's the end of professional sport. But can you assure us that the fight wasn't rigged or staged? It was a genuine fight, even though the painters and dockers and whoever, the wharfies were involved. Yeah. It was a genuine fight, and it'd have to be for 15 heavy rounds that you fought.
Mate, if you watch the fight, I tried to kill him and he tried to kill me. And I had no respect for Barry at that particular time. You had no respect for him up until then? No, I couldn't believe that he wanted to fight me. I mean, I was only a kid when I met him. I was 12 years old and he was 24. And when we fought, I was 19 and he was 29. And a lot of the fight fans thought he was too experienced for me, and I believed I could beat him. And we fought a hard out, and the fight was just a ruthless.
It was.
15 rounds.
I know people say, I was at Sydney in 2000. I saw Kathy Freeman run the 400. Well, I was. I watched that fight. So as I did Hagler and Ali and all the Foreman and all the great fights. So I'm a bit of a devotee of boxing, but I wouldn't like to fight anyone, of course, because I'm very careful. I'm very self-protective of myself. I'm not good at that sort of stuff.
Not your cup of tea, Sam. Not your cup of tea.
Only if provoked. But we'll get someone to hold him at bay while I go and get the rest of the lads. So during the fight 40 years ago, did you talk to one another, or did you just look into the back of his head through his eyes and wonder what's going on here? Or during the fight, can you remember what your attitude to him was, or vice versa?
Mate, I've never come across a bloke that can talk for 15 rounds.
Through the mouth guard?
Yeah, through the mouth guard. And at the start of the fight, when you come into the centre ring to shake hands, he was saying, your mother left her shoes in me panel van.
Yeah, all that
sort of crap. And I had to go back at him saying, look, man, I'm going to kill you tonight, and I'm going to teach you how to fight. And yeah, just carry it on.
And that was just showboating, or was that a bit of theatre, or was it genuine?
No, I was trying to get into his head.
Yeah.
He was trying to get into my head. No, it was genuine. And during the fight, every time I heard him, he would say something like, my mother could punch harder than you. And just trying to get into my head.
Yeah.
But we just slugged it out 15 rounds, mate, and I was in a bad way after the fight. And
so we'll just get on to that in a minute. Yeah. But you lost the fight on unanimous points decision.
Yeah.
Were you happy with that verdict, or did you think no?
No, I thought I got there.
Yeah, good. So the mandatory touch gloves before the last round, you come out. Was that in vogue 40 years ago? That's only a recent thing that you touch gloves, isn't it? Or did you touch gloves at the start of the last round and say anything to him, or vice versa?
I said, there's 3 minutes to go. Yeah, mate, I'm going to give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to belt a living suitcase out of you.
We were both pretty tired. It was
tired.
A hard fight. We just ripped into each other every round.
And of course, that's 15 3-minute rounds. They now bring it down to 12, don't they?
That's correct. Yeah.
For television or whatever. Yes. I don't know, maybe self-protection. People think you can't fight 15 3-minute rounds.
But Sam, the 15 rounds, they were the last two to ever fight 15 rounds.
Were they?
Yes.
So 1985 is when they had that's an extraordinary piece of history. Trivia that Darren.
What happened then, Sam? The doctors came in and said people were getting hurt in the late part of the fight, the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and we had a couple of deaths in England and a couple of deaths in different parts of the world, and they just cancelled it and put it back down to 12.
Well, there you are. So that's another. Not ironic. It's another stat that your fight probably went a long way to changing the rules. If you think about it realistically.
I was wearing blood and had a broken nose and a broken cheek, broken fingers. I was in a bit of a bad way.
And Barry got some serious injuries.
He looked like Elephant Man, man.
Yeah.
He was in a bad way. His ears were gone.
Yep.
His nose was broken.
So after the fight and you got back into the rooms, how long before you actually were in his company again, or did you just drift apart and recover your health for a period of months, or did you make contact with him after and say, mate, I don't know what you might have said to him. I have great respect for you, and I hope you have for me, because that was one hell of a brawl. Or did you speak to him? How long after the fight did you get together again?
Well, on the night when he won the world title, I gave him my belt that I won, and then they send him a belt a month later. Then he gives me back my belt. So I went to go and see him to see how my belt was in good shape and everything was okay, and he gave it back to me.
Is he out of respect, or because he said he didn't want it?
Oh, no, it was my belt.
Yes.
He had to give it back. Respect and he had
I
to
see,
give it
yes,
back. He
yep.
could have kept it, I suppose. But, yeah. And then we had a contract signed to have a rematch in 60 days. And I said, Barry, I'll get you next time, mate. This time you outsmarted me, but next time I'll get you. And he goes, yeah. And then he pulled out of the contract, and the promoters seen him at a disco, and they approached him and started talking about the rematch. And he said, "What rematch? I'm not fighting Lester ever
Not
again.
fighting that boy again. He's
Not fighting him again. The fight was too hard last time, and I'm not going to go through that sort of shit again." And they gave him a bit of a belting, and
in the press they gave him a bit of a belting for pulling out.
in a disco.
Oh, yes, they did too.
In a
That's
disco.
quite correct.
Yeah, so we seen Barry in a disco and sent him over a bottle of wine.
That's right.
And he waited half an hour, probably for him to get drunk, and then he walked over and said, "Lester gave you a chance, why aren't you giving him a chance?" He goes, "It was too hard last time, I'm not going through that again." He goes, "I'm going to pick my opponents." And he picked out 2 easy fights where he won them. And then he had to fight the number 1 contender, Rocky Lockridge, in England. And he retired in the 3rd or 4th round. Barry said his drummers were gone of the Leicester fight, and he couldn't continue. And he turned it up.
And you came back in 2002 and had a fight with Anthony Mundine. You were 37 at the time. Probably shouldn't have come back, Lester, or is it just the competitiveness and the adrenaline that goes through a professional fighter that would make you want to do that? Because he I think they stopped the fight in the 3rd round.
Yeah, my dad stopped it. He said, "Look, you're not going to go through this again."
No.
And you're not. I fought him at light heavyweight, and I'm a lightweight.
Yep.
I fought him at light heavyweight, and he was just too big for me, and too tall, too strong.
I've got it. I've got written down here. I don't know if any of this is right, but it said you fought as a welterweight, a light welterweight, a middle welterweight.
I fought in 5 different weight divisions, and I won world titles in 5 different weight divisions.
I tried to find out how many world titles, Australian title. I got lost in so much information. I got lost. I'll tell you, I got lost in so much information. But in 40 years ago, you fought. Let me tell you this: you fought a man. I wrote his name down because it sounded like "I'll kill you" as his name, but his name was Juan Kill You. Juan Kill You. You won him. You fought him as a featherweight.
Junior lightweight.
Oh, there's the first misinformation I've written down here.
Was
But
that Google?
that's I've probably written it down. There were so many things I was trying to write down. So you fought One Kill You, I'll Kill You, and that's your first. Was that your first title?
Yeah, first world title.
I
fought him for his world title.
Yep.
At junior lightweight.
Where did you do that?
Festival Hall,
Yes.
Melbourne.
Yep.
It went 15 rounds, and I won pretty comfortable on points. And then I fought for the welterweight, then I fought for the junior welterweight, then I fought for the welterweight, then I fought for the light middleweight.
Yeah, no, it's. Have you ever faced fear in the ring, or is it just a thing that you don't let enter your body? Do you ever think, why this man? Why am I doing this? Do you ever think that, or a professional boxer would never think that?
Sometimes when you're on a diet and you can't eat, you think that. But no, mate, I go in there confident. Excuse me. If you train hard and you prepare yourself properly, you go in there with confidence. You have to anyway. Go in there with confidence.
So after the fight with Barry Michaels, after it, did it knock you around mentally? Did you find that you weren't quite the same, or is that just too long a bow to say that affected your mental health?
No, my health was good, but I was in a bad way physically for about a week. I was wearing blood and I couldn't breathe through my nose and my fingers were broken. So, yeah, I got a bit of punishment out of that fight.
Yeah. How long did it take you to...
Oh, about a month.
A month. Yeah. That's extraordinary. So you have a good relation. I'm not getting into your personal life, but you have a good relationship with your missus. You patched all that up, and things are going swimmingly. And you've got the Leicester Ellis Fitness Academy. Is that right?
Yeah, my sons have got four different factories, 4 different gyms.
And is
in Melbourne? Yeah.
And is it purely to do with the art of boxing, or is it holistic lifestyle, or helping you through moments of depression? Is it a whole academy of fitness, or is it just purely boxing?
Mate, it's boxing, but it's for people that want to lose weight, gain a bit of confidence, young kids that want a bit of basic self-defence. It's a bit of variety, really.
So who were you... I know all these people, of course, so does everyone, and so would you, Darren, but the great Johnny Famersham and Lionel Rose and Jeff Fennick and Anthony Mundine, if you like, all the boxers. Did you rub shoulders with any of them? Did you meet any of them, or are they your heroes, or did you model yourself on anyone, or are you just your own man?
Mate, my own man, but I do respect everybody that got in the ring, mate. It's a hard job, and I never spoke to Fennick for many years because he wouldn't fight me.
So what weight was that you were compatible to fight him at?
Lightweight at 61 kilos.
Yeah.
So I had to come down about 15 kilos.
15 kilos you had to lose?
Yeah.
You can't do that, can you?
I did do it. The first time when I fought a guy named, what's that black guy's name?
Calvin Grove.
Calvin Grove that knocked out Jeff Fennick. I was in...
African-American lad?
Yeah, dark guy. Yeah,
dark guy,
I was at ringside, and I said to me missus, I said, I can beat that guy. So I got up in the ring after Jeff Fennick was knocked out, and I challenged him, and I was 85 kilos, and I ended up fighting him in 10 weeks. I had to lose
70. And you fought him at 70 kilos, did you?
No, I fought him at 61 kilos. I had to lose 25 kilos.
You can't for 25.
I lost 25 kilos, and I lost by 1 point, and I reckon I beat him.
How could you possibly lose 25 kilos when you're not overweight in the first place, Darren?
It shouldn't have happened.
In fact, authorities would probably stop that, wouldn't they? They would say
now they would, Sam.
That's extraordinary. To lose 25 kilos when you're fit. Yeah.
In that short
How
time.
did you?
Mate,
Lester.
I was on 800 calories a day.
800. That's a caraway seed and a glass of water.
Yeah, mate, a bit of porridge and an apple or a lemon or something. That's it, and water. But I lost it, mate. It does come off if you concentrate.
It would certainly come off, but so would your energy level, surely.
My energy level was gone, but I still fought fairly well. I reckon I beat him. But, excuse me.
Who are we talking about?
Calvin Grove.
Yes, Calvin Grove. Yeah, I remember the name, yep.
Former world champion. And he was talking to me like most Americans are. They're flash and brash. He wouldn't stop putting shit on me, so I got him in a bit of a headlock and hit him in the back of the head and told him to shut up. And the referee should have been on my side, but he wasn't. He went against me and took 2 points off me, and I ended up losing the fight by 1 point. And the winner was matched to fight Zuma Nelson.
Yes.
For the world junior lightweight title, the next fight. So I couldn't get it.
And where was this fight?
The Calvin Grove.
No, yes.
Melbourne Entertainment Centre.
The Entertainment Centre. You fought overseas several times?
No, I never fought overseas.
Never fought overseas? No, I was just going to say, how were you treated abroad by the parochial people from America or wherever that was fought? But did you have any... no, you didn't think people were biased against you or for you? You thought they were... You probably lost a lot of fights you thought you won.
Many, mate.
Yeah.
Many, yeah.
Is that... when you reflect on that, do you think your pride would naturally say that, but did you think most of them were pretty right, or did you think, no I was dudded in a few of them?
None of them were right, mate. When you win, I'm not I don't get too confident and to carry on too much, but when you won, and at least 4 of them I won, and they went against me, and they gave it to the foreigner,
Did you weren't? How long have you been managing Leicester, Darren?
Leicester and I caught up about 10 weeks ago.
Oh, 10 weeks.
Yes,
I was
but
going
I
to.
have sparred Leicester like we go back about 37 years ago when I first sparred him.
Yeah.
And we
And
went to
you saw in him
absolutely
what he became.
punished me,
Yes.
and I could vouch for that. And then just over the time, we just drifted away, different
Yeah.
lives, and we caught up about 10 weeks ago at the Shane Warne Pavilion, Sandringham. We had a function there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yes, we and then caught up, and I was there, and Leicester then come over, and we just hit it off once again.
So to
Put
speak.
the offer to me.
Yeah, very good. And life is good, mate, is it? You're just cruising along now? Because I keep saying this to people. They say, oh, no, this is not right. So I said, the only thing you've got in life are memories. You know that, don't
Yes,
you?
absolutely.
The here and now is what we're doing, so you can't remember that because we're doing it. And the future, you don't know what holds. So if your life's full of great memories, or just memories, that's the only thing you
all
can
life
look
is,
back on.
memories.
So you must be very proud of yourself, Lester, although, as I say, you've had some controversy in your life like all of us. No one more than me has had some controversy away from the workplace, but you've overcome that.
Yeah, mate.
Do you get on with... do you speak to Jeff Fennick?
Yeah, we're mates now.
Are you mates?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Jeff not well, but I get on very well with him. Do you have any friends that are police? Have they reached out to you and said, Lester,
Yeah.
I know you probably shouldn't have done what you did, but we'll bygones be bygones. So you,
The police are good to me, mate.
yeah. You took a bit of umbrage when about 5 or 6 of them came round to your house, and
Yeah, it gave me a bit of a scare, and I fired up.
yeah. Well, that's and why wouldn't you, mate? That's just it's innate, isn't it? If someone has a go at you,
You're going to have a go back.
it is.
It was the best thing that happened to me because my wife left me for a year, and she came back, and we had Dempsey, and life's been great ever since.
Yeah. How did you get her back, mate? Did you send her some flowers or chocolates,
No,
or did
mate,
you send her a
no.
Valentine's greeting in the paper, or what?
Well, I'll be honest, I stayed in the bedroom for about a year, depressed, and one day I just woke up, I rang her up, I said, look, cut all this crap out. Are you coming back or not? I can't wait any longer.
Did you?
Yeah, I said, are you coming back?
Good on you.
She goes, I'd love to come back.
You had a bit of guts to do that. No, most people wouldn't swallow their pride and do that. They'd say, no, I'll wait for someone else to make a move.
So I said, I love you too much, and I want you back, and I miss my kids, and I just want to...
She took the kids with her, did she?
Yeah, she did. And I said I wanted a second chance, and she gave me a second chance, and I've never had a blue with her since.
Well, full marks to you, mate. I mean, it doesn't happen very often in the world of romance and marriage and relationships. I could probably speak to that, but you've done. That's fantastic. I think that's a lot of courage in getting into a ring and fighting people. A lot of courage in doing that.
It is. Not everyone is fit to step in the ring, Sam. Not everyone. Everyone has a plan, don't they, mate, till they get punched.
Mate. Yeah, everybody can fight till they get hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a credit to him where he's come today. And the other good thing, Leicester is one of the youngest world champions in history. When he won his first world title.
I'll tell you a story, Sam. About 6 months ago, what's his name? Mike Tyson.
Yep.
He's got a magazine, and it's called Spirits to Cigars. And he wrote in the magazine his best 4 fighters that he liked, and they all were punchers. He said Lester Ellis, the blondie from Australia.
Did he?
He said Lester Ellis was the best I've ever seen. Second best is George Foreman. Third was Sugar Ray Leonard, and fourth was Sugar Ray Robinson.
Wow, that's extraordinary. Why wasn't that in the bloody Google thing?
That's Google for you.
Hey?
That's Google.
I'm going to get in touch with Google. That I would have opened with that. The great Mike Tyson.
Because we both won it at young. I won it at 19 and he won it at 20.
Won what?
The world title.
Oh, sorry,
I
yep.
won one at 19, he won his at 20 years old.
Have you met Mike Tyson?
Never met him, but I would love to meet him.
Jeff Fennick, I did a night with a sports night in Tasmania with
Okay.
Jeff, or he was on, and he said he had a bit to do with Mike Tyson over in the States.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes, I
yeah.
do. Yes.
Yeah, you had some interesting stories. I don't know if any of them were true or not, but it was very entertaining.
Sam, I would like to meet Sylvester Stallone because that's how I started boxing. I WAG school.
Did you?
I robbed a milk bar from the bottles that you get for 30 cents each.
You robbed a
Coca-Cola
milk bar,
bottles.
yeah, good
So I
idea.
went round there and got the bottles, went round the front, handed them over, made about $3 or $4, jumped on a train, went to the city, said a big poster, Rocky. I thought, oh, what's that? And then I watched it, and then things do happen for a reason. I come back to Sunshine and I run into a kid that his dad owned the gym, Mac Quinn, which was my first boxing trainer. And I went there and I had no money. It was $2 a night, so I had to go back to the milk bar and get a couple of...
Relieve them of some other bottles. Yeah.
couple of bottles. And then I told my father, and he goes, if you want to do it, I'll pay it for you. So I kept going there every night, and then I had a fight after about 6 weeks, my first fight, and I won that. And then I had a funny career. One lost, one lost, one lost, one lost. Then I won 40 straight.
All as a result of so the milk bar owner must feel he must feel pretty chuffed that you actually relieved him of some of his produce just in order to be who you are.
I did tell him.
He'd like to take some credit for that.
I did tell him.
Did you?
Yeah, I went back to pay him. He said, don't worry about it, Lester. He goes, you're welcome.
Fantastic, and that is that was in order to get in to see Rocky in the movies.
Yes.
And that's what started you off.
Yeah, mate.
Sylvester. Well, you haven't met Sylvester Stallone, so you'd like to meet him and Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
Dazza as a manager, surely you can arrange that.
We will. We will arrange something up after we do a painting of the great man with Jamie Cooper.
Yes.
That will be on the pipeline.
Jamie Cooper. I'll tell you a story about
Yes.
Jamie Cooper. Jamie Cooper painted the Team of the Century for Geelong,
Yes,
which they auctioned, which I bought and donated to the club. And then I asked Jamie Cooper to come on here. I won't say why he said he wouldn't come on here, but he was absolutely wrong. Anyhow, that's different. But he's and you are going you going away. We're doing this on the eve of you leaving Australia, are we? Or
Yes,
shouldn't I be
Sam,
saying
I
that?
am leaving Sunday
Yep.
with my great wife.
Your great wife.
Yes,
Yep. Yeah.
she's the love of my life.
Yeah.
Going to Bali
I see.
for 2 weeks.
What could go wrong?
I don't want to know yet. I don't want to know.
And you haven't. She hasn't left you for a year, and you haven't had to go back and ring her up and say you better come back, have you?
No.
No. So we'll keep the books open.
Yes.
Just you never know what might happen, particularly in Bali.
I need to do the right thing by my wife. I have a good wife, don't I, mate?
Yeah, she's top of the range.
Yeah.
Top of the
Yeah,
range.
she is. She's very fun.
Well, look, Lester, it's I've probably met you before. Can't even remember what Sue's name is sometimes. Have I met you before this
On
today?
the footy show a couple of times.
You came in on the footy show, yeah. And probably Eddie would have probably chatted to you, and Trevor and all the boys, and I would have stood in the background because I'd be intimidated by you.
No, you wouldn't.
No, and it's great for you to come in. And Darren,
Yes, mate.
thanks very much for bringing Lester
You
in.
are welcome.
No, and great to speak to world champions and people who've turned their life round. And if there's anything in this chat is the fact that if you're down and out and when you're on top of the world, that's fair enough. But when you're away from what you do professionally and as things go off the rails, you can get yourself back on track, and you are a great example of that, mate, and I admire you for it.
Thanks,
Thanks very much for coming in.
Of course you can, mate. Anyone out there having a bit down on their luck, you can change anything if you really want to, mate.
Was it fiscally? Did you make, was boxing good to you financially? Or wasn't there real money in it until you got to fight world titles?
The biggest purse I ever received was $100,000 when I fought Barry Michael, but houses were only 40 grand.
I was just going to say 1985. That's a fair stipend.
Yeah.
40 years ago. That's correct.
And then after that, I was only getting like 40 grand a fight, 20 grand a fight.
Yeah.
And I was one of those kids that would fight anybody, and I took on all comers, and at the end of the day, I own my house, own my car, got no debts and
No mortgages,
No
don't owe
mortgages.
money, mate.
don't owe money. And I
You're in the
just-
top 5% of the people living in the country. If you can say that in this day and age, you're laughing, mate.
Yes.
And you got your health?
Yeah, man.
Yep.
He's doing well, but the good thing is with it, he was ranked number 1 in the WBC, Sam, and Zuma Nelson was the champion,
And Roger Mayweather.
and Roger Mayweather.
Welterweight.
Now, if he had a fought then, he
Yep.
would have made $1 million.
Absolutely. And he never got to fight Zuma Nelson because he lost by a point to Mr. The African American man, or have I got that wrong? You said
Calvin Groves.
Jeff Fennick fought Zuma Nelson.
Zuma Nelson, but if Lester had beaten Groves,
Yes.
would he have got
Yeah, I
a
was
chance
about-
to
I was
fight
about-
Zuma Nelson?
He was ranked number 1
Yes.
contender in the world.
Yeah, I was about
So-
to fight him.
Yes, so just
should have.
losing by a point probably precluded you from having a big payday.
But he still should have fought him. He was ranked number 1. And
The judge, the
At the
referee, Sam, took 2 points off me.
Yes.
Now he shouldn't have because I was the local boy, but he didn't like Keith Ellis, who was my brother, manager. He didn't like each other, so he done it deliberate.
Because you got the bloke in a headlock or something, or you
Oh, he
hit
did.
him on the back of the head, gave him a rabbit killer.
Well, him and Barry Michael are the only 2 guys that talk. He was saying, "You white piece of shit, I'm going to kick your ass." I said, "Shut up." And I just got him in a bit of a headlock
Yeah.
and give him a bit of a backhander.
So it's all right for him to say you're a white bit of trash, but if you had said the opposite,
Yeah, that's true.
you'd be taken to court.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
Yeah,
right.
so it's...
And the good thing about all this, Sam, we're doing sportsmen's nights with the great Barry Michaels and the
You
great
do?
man
Are you?
Lester, yes.
So what a tag team out at sports nights.
Yes,
Be
we are.
fantastic.
Berwick Springs Hotel.
Righto, what is it?
25th of July.
25th of July at the Berwick
Springs Hotel.
Berwick Springs.
Berwick. Yes.
Berwick.
Yes.
And is that just a one-off or?
No, we're going to do quite a few more.
Go on the road.
around and talk about the 40th anniversary of the great man's 2 of them's fights
And the making of the film?
and the making of
And
the
you
film.
might have someone who's going to play Barry at this stage?
That's a very good question
Yeah.
to go and ask for. Who would play Barry?
Somebody with bad ears.
And you, yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, to come in to You Cannot Be Serious. The great Lester Ellis and the even, not greater,
No.
but just as great, Darren Thompson. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Good
Sam.
on you, mate.